Hello and welcome to another explanation of the next two theories on our list, the psychosocial development and the social emotional development theories. So first I'll be tackling the psychosocial development. So in this theory we have Erikson defines each category with an age gap, right? So like one of the first ones is year one, next one is year two, and next one is like year 3 to 7. And so each of these classifications have like a set of crises that each age goes through. Successful learning would yield a virtue, and unsuccessful would yield a negative outcome. So the first one, actually, here's a full list of all the crises. First with trust versus mistrust, autonomy versus shame, initiative versus guilt, industry versus inferiority, identity versus role confusion, intimacy versus isolation, generativity versus stagnation, and integrity versus despair. So all of these are stages throughout life that the individual will go through, and then the outcome is either a virtue, like I said, or a negative outcome. First up is trust versus mistrust. So the child is a baby at this point, and they're learning trust in their caregiver, whether it be their parent or just a person that they always see. During this time, the baby must understand, or rather must learn trust. Therefore, they learn hope, in that they can trust other people. A negative outcome would be suspicion in general. Next up is autonomy versus shame. This takes place during year 2. Versus they're getting more independent, and so here during this time they'll develop a will of their own, and if not, if they're discouraged and if they're knocked down and if they're not given the ability, or rather the encouragement to learn more and or to have an imagination, they develop a shame. Next up is initiative versus guilt, ages 3 to 5. And so during this time, kids will start to take the initiative in things and want to do things on their own, and or maybe encourage their own imagination to flourish. If people encourage this, they gain a purpose, and if they are discouraged from this, they gain this idea that this feeling of inadequacy, constant inadequacy. Next up is industry versus inferiority, ages 6 through 12. The virtue in this part is competence, right? A feeling of actually knowing what you're doing is correct, and feeling like you're enough and that you can actually do things. Of course, the negative outcome of this would be inferiority, so you feel less than everyone around you. Next up is identity versus role confusion. This is a pretty key part of everyone's life. It takes place during the teen years, and so, of course, during this time, if the teenager is able to acclimate and actually understand their lives, they gain this strong sense of devotion and or fidelity, right? So they become devoted to themselves, to the things around them, like say sports, their future. If they are discouraged and if they do not understand their role in life and in society, they begin to rebel, which we see a lot of. Intimacy versus isolation, where ages 18 through 40. So during this time, people are seeking after love, they're seeking after acceptance, and so they do find it, right? The virtue they learn is love. If they don't find it, they sense this they gain this sense of isolation where they isolate themselves from society, they separate themselves from everyone, and then they actually begin to gain this sense of superiority. Next up is generativity versus stagnation, ages 40 through 65. And so generativity, people want to begin to leave behind a legacy, right? To shape society, to shape the future. And so they gain a sense of caring for things, caring for people. A negative outcome would be unproductivity. And so they're just stagnant, they're lame, they don't do much for themselves, for the people around them, and for society. Next up is the final one, which is integrity versus despair. So at the end of your life, you gain this wisdom, right? You look back on your life and you just have all these thoughts and feelings, and you want to share them with everyone. So you gain wisdom versus despair, right? So all the negative builds up to despair. You're dissatisfied with life. And so it can go either way on this one. Hopefully everyone, gains wisdom at the end, but some people do end up being dissatisfied. Next up is social emotional development. So this one is based mainly on relationships and how you interact with people, how you express yourself, how you manage your emotions, etc., etc. So first, just going over terms here in this theory, responsive caregiving. So that kind of goes without saying. So aiding the infant in regulating emotions, it's just teaching the baby and or the child how to regulate emotions, how to manage their emotions in social environments. Responsive caregiving is just that. Good caregiving, quality caregiving, teaching how to manage emotions. Next up is emotional security, which is a sense of being able to understand what one is feeling. So it's like validating that they're able to feel things. If a child is not given emotional security, then they can develop a sense of emotional insecurity, right? They don't know how they feel and or they can't express it. And in the end, they are unsure of themselves. Next is temperament. So it's just a person, just how they act, the kind of mood they have, the kind of personality. Every person, a child, will have a different way of expressing their emotions according to their temperament. Yeah, that's a pretty simple one. Emotional regulation, just knowing the proper time to express an emotion, knowing response received from the other person if a said emotion is shown. So knowing when to when to express an emotion and knowing when not to express an emotion, right? So just knowing the proper times of that, keeping emotions in check. That's a really important lesson to learn. Next up is impulse control, necessary for a child to understand when not to follow an impulse and to follow the rules of society and socializing, right? And so you get an impulse, you react. Learning how to control those things is very important. Otherwise, it'll be very difficult to maintain relationships. And of course, social understanding, very simple. Just understanding that relationships are needed and knowing how to respond in social environments, and knowing to maintain relationships, because that's how one learns about life and society around them. Finally, just a few more keywords: effective. So just how people affect each other, how they're influential on one another, what touches someone a certain way, or what changes their view on life, on society. Empathy, of course, is putting yourself in the other person's shoes, feeling what they're feeling, and therefore coming to a better understanding of where they're coming from, right? Of where they stand in terms of the social environment and or the relationship. Self-efficacy, it's a sense of uh, it's just validation, just knowing who you are and knowing what you want in life, just having a very sure understanding of your goals. Kind of ties into a sense of self where you know that you yourself exist. Um, you know who you are, and it's just very important to have a grasp on that so that you can express yourself in social environments. And that is all. Thanks for watching.